Last week, Illinois Extension weed science specialist Dr. Aaron Hager explained his research on the management of herbicide-resistant pigweeds and how producers should act fast when Palmer amaranth is identified in their fields. However, due to similar characteristics between Palmer amaranth and common water hemp, identifying these weeds can be difficult for some producers. While attending the Weed Management and Cover Crops Field Day held at the UNL South Central Ag Lab, we met with Nebraska Extension Weed Management Specialist Amit Jhala to learn how to identify these two pigweed species based on their leaf shape, leaf petioles, and plant structure.
So major weeds in this field or in this area are common water hemp, Palmer amaranth. They both are pigweed species, as well as we have velvet leaf, common lime squatters, and some other grass species like foxtail species and barnyard grass and woolly cup grass. They are very commonly found grasses in south central Nebraska.
Among all of these weeds found in south central Nebraska, Palmer amaranth and water hemp can be hard to distinguish amongst each other. However, according to Amit Jhala, there are three characteristics that can help producers identify each weed accordingly.
Because common water hemp and Palmer amaranth, they both belong to the same family, pigweed family, also known as Amaranthus family. So sometimes it is hard to distinguish between them, but it is very easy if you follow the three-step process. So I'm going to demonstrate how best and how easily you can differentiate common water hemp with Palmer amaranth. So I have common water hemp in my right hand and Palmer amaranth in my left hand, and I'm going to give you some three basic differences between them that will be very easy to understand and very easy to distinguish between those two species. For example, the shape of leaf is very important, and it will be number one character to differentiate common water hemp with Palmer amaranth. On my right hand, I have a Palmer amaranth leaf, and on my left hand, I have common water hemp leaf. If you will see the shape of Palmer amaranth, it's more like an egg shape compared with this common water hemp leaf, which is more like a spoon shape. So those two characters can easily distinguish between these two. For example, this Palmer amaranth is very broad from the middle, and the leaf is relatively short. Compared with common water hemp, the leaf is relatively long and narrow. So this is number one character. The second character is length of the petiole. The petiole is the part that is basically connecting leaf with the main stem. For example, if I have a Palmer amaranth plant, so this is petiole, which is basically connecting leaf with main stem. And so I cut this leaf with petiole. This is Palmer amaranth, and if you will bend, even with bare eye, you can see the length of petiole is really long. And if you will bend this, the length of petiole is longer than the actual size of leaf in case of Palmer amaranth. In case of common water hemp, the length of petiole is relatively small if you compare with Palmer amaranth. And if you will bend the petiole, you will see the petiole will be hardly half or longer than half, but it will not be longer than the length of the leaf in case of common water hemp. So now there are two characters. Number one, shape of leaf, egg shape, spoon shape. Second is length of petiole. And the third one, and which is also very important and easy to identify, is this Palmer amaranth, which has more like a rosette-like structure. If you will see from the top of the Palmer amaranth, you will almost able to see each and every leaf on the plant, and that's why, because they are taking advantage of long petiole, so they can trap all the solar energy and it can convert into the biomass energy. So that's why Palmer amaranth, in my opinion, because of its rosette-like structure, it is more aggressive weed and it has more growth rate compared with any other pigweed species. And if you see water hemp leaves are more like alternate. You will not see, it will not set like a rosette-like structure as you see in case of Palmer amaranth. So these are the basic three characters that can easily differentiate these two species of pigweeds.
It is important to remember how to distinguish between these two weeds, because when it comes to management, you will want to use the most effective herbicide.
Yeah, some herbicides they work better on common water hemp, and some herbicides they work better on Palmer amaranth. So it is important to know in your field, whether your field has majority of Palmer amaranth or majority of them are Waterhemp, and sometimes if they both are existing, then you may also need to pick the herbicide that can provide effective control of both of the species.